this tutorial is Wish List, a detailed overview. At the very top of the screen is our toolbar. There is a separate tutorial that covers all aspects of the toolbar. That tutorial is titled About Our Toolbar and can be found on our YouTube channel titled WardrobeTools Software and Services. Immediately below the toolbar is the Wish List Detail View tab object with multiple tabs and subtabs. The title of the first tab is About and is found on the far left of the tab object. There is a separate tutorial that covers all aspects of the About tab and its subtabs. That tutorial is titled The About tab and can be found on our YouTube channel titled WardrobeTools Software and Services as well. Conceptually speaking, wish lists are for just about any type of list that involves things to be purchased. The wish list can be related to you, family members, clients, staff, or cast and crew. Use the list for supplementing someone's wardrobe or as holiday gift lists for family and friends. In other words, for whatever type of shopping list you need. Once you've created the list, give it a name or title. Then fill in the remaining fields as necessary. You can associate a company or person to the list when applicable. By creating your favorite department stores, consignment shops, boutiques, and people in the contacts module in advance, they will always be selectable and you will never have to type the information again unless it changes. Once you have entered all appropriate list information, begin to add the wish list items as well as associating any inventory items to a given wish list item. Associating an existing inventory item to a wish list item will help you in the choice of the actual wish list item. Fill in as much information about the list item as needed. You can also enter a budget cost value for each item. If you do, item value will sum to a list total value. Once you have completed your wish list, you can print the list to paper or PDF, and off to the stores you go. Let's explore this module in more detail. The tab titled Details is broken down into two quadrants, left and right. To create a wish list, first select New from our toolbar and begin to fill in as much detail in the left quadrant area as needed. Next, create any wish list items you want associated with the list by going to the right quadrant area titled Create Wish List Items and typing data into the first row of the portal. To create the second item, simply move to the second row of the portal and fill out the necessary fields. Continue to follow this pattern until you have added all the items needed. You only need to fill out as many fields as is necessary to describe your list or the list items. If you need to relate an existing inventory item to the wish list item, proceed to the tab titled Relate Existing Inventory Items. Should you need to add more detail to the wish list items, proceed to the tab titled Add More Details to Wish List Items. The tab titled More Detail is broken down into two quadrants, left and right as well. The left quadrant area allows you to associate a project and/or a production to the list. You can also declare an administrator for the list as well as any company that may be involved. The right quadrant functions the same as the right quadrant on the Detail tab. It displays any wish list items and also allows you to create or edit items as well. The tab titled Relate Existing Inventory Item is broken down into three quadrants. The top left is home to the Filter and Select filter fields, and the bottom left quadrant displays the filtered results. The right quadrant displays the wish list items. In many situations, it may be beneficial to associate a wish list item with an existing inventory item in order to properly match items to items. Some scenarios of why this is beneficial could be when you are shopping for a shirt or blouse to match a particular pair of pants already in inventory. You are a consultant and are looking for that perfect piece to take a client's outfit over the top. You are a costumer and you need to buy a pair of shoes that work with an existing costume. Or possibly you are selecting accessories for an existing item. In these situations, wouldn't it be helpful to have a picture of the existing inventory items? It would provide an immediate comparison whether searching the internet, shopping in a brick and mortar, or speaking to a clothing designer. Once you have created a wish list item and decide you want to relate an existing item, do the following. Use the provided filter and select area to find the item. We assume that by now you are familiar with our filter and select method of record display. Next, click on the large green plus sign button adjacent to the inventory item you want to relate to the wish list item. Repeat this process for any wish list items until you have completed your list. When you click on the large green plus sign button, it identifies the first empty item ID field of your wish list items and stamps the item ID value of the inventory item you want to relate it to. If you have wish list items that you don't want to relate existing items to, interspersed with items you do, place a 0 in the item ID field of those wish list items you don't want to relate an existing item to, and they will be skipped over. The other method of creating wish list items is the inverse of what we described above. In this method, you create your wish list items by relating them to an existing wardrobe item first. If you always want to relate existing items to your wish list items, you may find this method easier. Use the provided filter and select area to find the items you are buying for. You then create wish list items by clicking on the large green plus sign button discussed in the previous method. If you need multiple items to go with an existing item, create as many wish list items as needed by clicking on the large green plus sign button of the same existing item as many times as necessary. Repeat this process until you have records for each wish list item needed. Then fill in the descriptor fields of each. If needed, go to Add More Detail to Wish List Items tab and continue to add detail. If you decide that you want to find and add pictures of your known wish list items prior to purchase, or find pictures that convey the ideas, proceed to the tab titled Search the Web for Wish List Items. If not, your list should be considered complete and the only thing left to do is to print the list to paper or PDF. Do so by clicking on the Print Center tab and select the type of printout you want. We have provided some extra functions that you should find helpful. This functionality gives you the ability to do the following. Create a URL value list so that you can assign URLs the specific person the list is for. Create favorites for yourself, a client, or cast and crew. Then view those URLs from within the provided web viewer or within your default web browser. Research or shop for wish list items. Copy web pictures and paste them to your wish list items. Expand the wish and related images for close-up comparisons. If you do want to add pictures of wish list items, here is what is involved. Go to the tab titled Search the Web for Wish List Items. Click on the sub-tab titled Create URL Value List and add all websites you feel are important to you or client or whomever. Next, click on the sub-tab titled Assign URLs to the person the list is for. Here, we've provided an area for you to assign URLs to the person the list is for. We've also provided credential fields for you to enter login credentials for shopping accounts or for any other login purposes you may have. It's important to note that these login credentials are not encrypted, and they can be viewed by anyone looking at this screen on your computer. Once you've created your URLs, Clicking on the white button with the blue arrow located on the far left will open your internet browser to that URL. Clicking on the white button with the blue arrow near the middle of the screen will take you to the subtab View Website from Favorites and display the URL web page within the built-in web viewer. The subtab titled View Website from Favorites is where you'll find an internal web viewer to display the URL favorite that you selected. Within this web viewer, you are able to navigate anywhere within the chosen website, as you would when using an internet browser. The next step involves viewing the subtab titled Copy and Paste Wishlist Item Picture. However, this requires using the button titled Only Click Here to advance to the next tab on the right in order for the functionality to work. If you click directly on the subtab titled Copy and Paste Wishlist Item Picture, the intended process will not work. Clicking on the button titled Only Click Here to advance to the next tab on the right passes the URL that you may have navigated to, should it differ from the original URL that you selected from the subtab. Assign URLs to the person the list is for. If you don't understand, experiment by doing the following. First, select a favorite URL and you will automatically be taken to the subtab View Website from Favorites. Within this viewer, drill down to a different page and then select the next subtab, Copy and Paste Wishlist Item Picture. You will notice that the web page you were on in the previously subtab is not displayed, and the original page is present. When you click on the Only Click Here to advance to the next tab on the right button, the correct page for the previous subtab is displayed as you would want. The next subtab is titled Copy and Paste Wishlist Item Picture. This tab provides the ability to do the following. Surf the web from within this software program, copy and paste a web image into the wishlist item image container field, document the price of the internet item, document the SKU of the item or the URL of the page the item of interest is found on, or view the pasted wish item image side by side with a related item image. The next subtab is titled Compare in Larger View. This tab provides the ability to view the wish item picture side by side with a related item image in a much larger display, so you have a more detailed visual to match colors, materials, and patterns. The next tab is titled Print Center. As stated in other module overviews, this is for everything related to printing. The last tab is titled Help. Here you will find the same subtab object with the same subtabs we have demonstrated in other tutorials. This concludes this tutorial. We hope that you found it informative.